Burlington Middle School at the epicenter of a national story. Good morning, Boston. Okay, my friends, this story, I'm sure many of you have already heard about it. It has gone national, frankly, international. It is a massive, massive story. It is also a big local story. I would have covered it days earlier, to be candid, but we had the Trump indictment. So, historic indictment of a former president, leading political candidate. You have to talk about it. So, but here we are, and it's still with us. And this story, I believe now, is a sign of the times, both in terms of the growing resistance and the totalitarian desire to impose the LGBTQIA whatever plus agenda. So here is now the absolute latest on this huge story. For those of you, and I'm sorry to do this to the local audience, we have a national reach now. A lot of people listen across the country. Burlington is not Burlington, Vermont, obviously. It is a town in Massachusetts, in many ways a suburb. It is a suburb of Boston and fairly middle class. The middle school, Marshall Simmons Middle School, on June 2nd, it came out that recently they were celebrating, as every school now is, Pride Month. It's not enough to have a day or a week. You have to have a whole freaking month. Well, as they were celebrating Pride Month, that particular day, June 2nd, the Friday, it was supposed to be Spirit Day at Marshall Simmons School in Burlington, Massachusetts. And this day was organized by a club at the school, a pro-LGBTQ club, the Spectrum Club they're called, and they put up signs everywhere, banners everywhere. People were wearing stickers, buttons. It was everywhere, celebrating transgenderism, the LGBTQ agenda, and faculty, staff, students were strongly encouraged to wear rainbow clothing. Well, on top of all of this, and this is a very important point, several weeks before, they refused to do anything for Memorial Day. They did not want to celebrate Memorial Day. And this angered many of the students, saying, let me get this straight. People who fought and died for our country, nothing. But LGBTQ, the Rainbow Mafia, they get not just an entire month, but they get this Spirit Day with banners and stickers and buttons and signs, and we've all got to wear rainbow clothing? I don't think so. And so they did something that is verboten now in Massachusetts. They stood up to the liberal indoctrination regime. They said, finally, you are not going to shove this down our throats day after day after day after day. And so middle school students voluntarily on their own organized essentially their own spontaneous protest. It was a protest. Middle school students they came to school that day dressed in red, white, and blue, some of them even with red, white, and blue face painting, the colors of the flag. And they chanted in the halls, USA, USA. Others chanted, USA are my pronouns. Stop talking to me about he, she, him, her, they, them, it, X, non-binary, whatever. I'm one thing in the morning, I'm another thing in the afternoon, I'm a third thing in the evening. They said, my pronouns are USA. We already have a pride flag. It's the United States of America. The it is the stars and stripes, the American flag. And that's the flag that includes all of us. And that's the flag we should be proud of. And so the students then began to sing. They began to chant USA, USA, USA. They began to say USA are my pronouns. Then they tore down some of the banners. They tore down some of the stickers, the signs. According to one faculty member, one of the middle school students glared at this person. It was a stern glare. Ooh, ooh. Well, you can imagine the response. Burlington, the LGBTQ community, the Moonbat mayor of Massachusetts, Holdit Healy, Maura Healey, the local liberal media, they are going Thunderdome on these poor students. They are being raked over the coals. You would think, I'm not kidding, that they, I don't know what, perpetrated a massacre the way now they are being demonized, attacked, and vilified. They're now being called racists, homophobic, transphobic, bigots. Local town leaders are weighing in. The principal has weighed in. The Burlington school superintendent has weighed in. Local LGBTQ community groups are now saying an apology is not enough. Condemnation is not enough. These students need to be taught a lesson. They must be punished and punished so severely that it will be an example to everyone else. You don't question Pride Month. You don't question Spirit Day in the name of the LGBT agenda. And if you ever do or dare to speak out or protest, we will destroy your academic career. We will put the mark of Cain on you for the rest of your academic career. Everybody now is getting involved. The Boston Globe, local media, Channel 4, 5, 7, 10, 25, Boston.com, the usual set of losers. It's gone all the way to the national media, CNN, MS Left BC. Look at the hate. Look at the hate. They tore down banners. They said USA are my pronouns. How dare they? Listen now. And this guy's an absolute joke. I got to tell you that. You want to talk about a totalitarian thug, a wannabe liberal dictator, guaranteed a Biden voter. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Here's Burlington School Superintendent Eric Conti. Listen to this buffoon. Roll cut 1, Mike.
I want to state unequivocally that here in Burlington Public Schools, we are committed to tolerance and inclusivity for all, and that includes our LGBTQ plus students. We are committed to working hard so that all students feel safe and supported so that they can reach the depth and breadth of their abilities.
I want to state unequivocally that we are committed to tolerance and inclusivity, especially for our LGBTQ students. And this is not who we are. This is not who we are here in Burlington. We're good little moonbats. They're going to throw the book now at these students. Some of the parents of these students are kind of apologizing but defending their kids at the same time. One of the parents spoke at a school board meeting saying they shouldn't have taken down the banners, they shouldn't have taken down the signs, but the students are sending a message. They're just sick of this. They want to learn reading, writing, and math. Maybe, God forbid, a little bit of civics, learn the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And instead, it's left-wing political cause after left-wing political cause. And it's not even more than just leftism. It's you should be confused about your body. If you're a boy, you're not really a boy, you're a girl, or you're both, or you're neither. It's about ramming transgenderism. Are you non-binary? The entire rainbow LGBTQ agenda. It is indoctrination, and it has no place in the schools. And the students now are saying, we're fed up. We want a real education. We don't want to be brainwashed. Stop telling us we should change our gender or get a sex reassignment surgery or experiment in other sexual lifestyles or tell us to constantly question our own identity, whether we're actually male or female. We've had enough. We've had enough. We just want to be normal, and we want to go to a normal school day. We don't want revolutionary left-wing politics rammed and crammed down our throats day after day after day. 617-266-6868 is the number. You can also text us 70470, 70470. Okay, huge story. Obviously with strong local connection, local angle. But when I say it's gone national, international, it is now everywhere. Burlington now, in some ways, Burlington, Massachusetts, the center of the universe. Okay, the students rebelled. This is middle school. Marshall Simmons. There was a Spirit Day a couple weeks ago for Pride Month. They're celebrating the whole month, but in particular, that day was really singled out hard by a club at the school called the Spectrum Club. It's a club of LGBTQ plus students and their allies, and they had banners, they had signs, stickers, buttons, faculty, staff, everyone told the students, they encouraged them, wear rainbow clothing. Many of the students said, why? Why are you forcing this upon us? We're sick of this. We want to learn to read, write, math. Why are we always being told what to think? And why do you keep injecting a political agenda and ramming it down our throats? So, as a protest, students on their own started to rebel. They came to school that day deliberately dressed in red, white, and blue. They had face painting in red, white, and blue. They started chanting USA, USA, or USA is my pronoun. And all hell is now broken loose. When I say everyone's involved, everyone is involved. From the governor to the mayor to the city council to the school board, and everybody is now reading those students the riot act. Now, here's what they've done, and here's what they're doing. And you tell me if you think this is not overkill. Number one, they established an anonymous form, a snitch form, so that students could anonymously report who they saw on that day doing what, who wore red, white, and blue clothing, who maybe took down a sign or a banner, or who didn't wear a sticker, or who didn't dress in the rainbow colored themes. And that was then given to the principal and to the superintendent. So, this is like the Stasi. Like, this is like really the KGB so this is what you do now? You just, George Orwell. See, they're not teaching them 1984. They don't have them reading Orwell. That I can tell you. So now you're encouraging students to anonymously snitch on other students to get them in trouble. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, you want to talk about, these communist thugs. Now, on top of that, they are now going to set up some kind of a diversity, inclusion, equity board. And now they say they're going to fund a program where they are going to, quote unquote, teach the students, i.e. indoctrinate or propagandize the students into tolerance and inclusion and respect for diversity. In other words, You're going to sit in class, and we're going to tell you about transgenderism. We're going to tell you about gay pornography. We're going to tell you about the LGBTQ agenda. We're going to tell you all of it until you choke on it. Now, my question to you, did the students have a right to protest? Are we now hitting a tipping point where students, we're talking now 6th, 7th, 8th graders, are saying this is not appropriate for school, it's not appropriate for the classroom, and I'm really sick and tired of this being rammed down our throats? Were they right to rebel, or should they be suspended, or as many are now calling, expelled? 617-266-6868 is the number. Listen now to a enraged, angry parent at the Burlington PTA meeting saying, no. I blame the principal. I blame the superintendent. You guys are not cracking down enough. They got to be told, toe the rainbow mafia line, or else you're going to be in big trouble. Roll cut 2, Mike.
Here we are a year later, in a place that is worse than we were last year. Simple acceptance. This starts at the top down. This starts from our leaders within the town. This starts from every head of family. This starts from every principal in every school.
Okay, and then this is a montage. Parents spoke up. These are all liberal parents, obviously, at the Burlington School Board meeting saying, oh, no. Today, they're tearing down banners and signs and wearing red, white, and blue clothes and chanting USA, USA, or USA is my pronoun. Tomorrow, yep, school shooting. I swear. Today, you take down a banner. Tomorrow, they're going to be machine gunning and massacring LGBTQ students. Stop this now. Roll cut 2A. Mike.
It would be naive of us to think that what happened at the middle school won't escalate into something more tragic in the future.
The acceptance and visibility of LGBTQIA people is not being shoved down your throats, it's being normalized, finally, and thank goodness.
Middle school should be a safe place for all students to express themselves, to make mistakes, and to learn from each other.
Tell me, where's the acceptance for people who don't want this? I'm just pointing out the obvious. Tell me, where's the acceptance for them? You know, you say you believe in diversity. You don't. You don't. You don't believe in diversity for anyone who disagrees with your radical left-wing transgender agenda. That's what this is all about. And you go on about tearing down banners and stickers and signs. Really? 3 words. Black Lives Matter. We crossed that Rubicon a long time ago. No. When the students leave the classroom or leave school in the middle of the school day and go protesting and yell and scream about how they hate the police, when they tear down the American flag, when they tear down anything that's pro-police, then that's okay. But God forbid you should protest on behalf of America. I stand with the students.
My thing that I teach my kids is just be kind, and I wish the schools would just kind of pump the brakes on what they're shoving down these kids' throats.
That was middle school parent Christine Steiner. One of her daughters was involved in the protest against that LGBTQ Pride Month Spirit Day, saying her daughter just felt, I just don't want to participate in this. Why are they forcing me? And so they said, no, we're gonna protest. So my question to you, what do you make now of the protest that erupted at the middle school in Burlington, Marshall Simmons? And do you think now it is justified what is happening to these students? Town leaders, LGBTQ groups, the governor, the superintendent, the principal, the national liberal media, everyone now condemning and vilifying those kids for daring to speak out and challenge the LGBTQ radical agenda. I stand with the students. Do you? 617-266-6868 is the number. Al in Burlington. Thanks for... did we lose Al? Okay, let's go to... Who do you want me to go to next? Okay, Marilyn in Norwood. Thanks for holding, Marilyn, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff. I'm going to be brief, but I'll just make a few comments. I find it utterly shocking that so much emphasis is given to this one topic because the United States is competing in a global economy. And in Asia, East Asia, South Asia, the countries that are our most formidable competitors, all of the emphasis on children is to make them superior students so that these countries can maintain an economic dominance in the world economy. I really fear if all of these sort of disruptive trends continue, that we are going to have a standard of living lower than Bolivia. It is terrible. There's no emphasis on education. Everyone is talking about this one particular topic, which in many respects is a private matter. What people do privately in their lives should be considered a private matter. The other thing is, there might be some seeds of a counterbalancing sort of a challenge to what has been happening in this country. I don't know if you're following the recent news in Hamtramck, Michigan. I might be mispronouncing Michigan, so if you have a Michigan caller, they could fill you in more. But Hamtramck is now a predominantly Muslim community. I'm not sure if it's a city or a town. But the council, members, all of whom are Muslim, have now, along with the mayor or the town manager, have now approved the only flags that will fly on government property are the sort of like national flags, the POW flag, the state flag. Of course, the town manager or city manager has said that people on their private property can fly any flag that they would like to. So, I mean, this will become a very interesting civil liberties union because now is the ACLU going to take this predominantly Muslim community to town and challenge its policies in rejecting the LGBTQ flag. But I'm really, really worried about the future of this nation in terms of the education of children, because all of this is distracting us from our primary focus, which is to make a better society for everyone, to treat everyone with dignity and respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. I really appreciate it. Very well stated. You're seeing now massive pushback. You're right, but I'm going to get to that a little bit later. There is a town in Michigan now, all Muslim city council, Muslim mayor, and they're saying, no, we're done with this. We're done. We're just, in the name of religious freedom, we are not going to allow, they told the LGBTQ activists to their face, you can be whatever you want, but you're not going to trample on our religious rights and our religious freedoms. And you're not going to force us to wave a flag or unfurl a flag that we don't want to unfurl. But it's no. The answer is no. And so you're starting to see a lot of pushback all across the country. Now, you hit the nail on the head. A lot of this is being funded and driven by China, believe it or not. And it's obvious. They're not doing this to their students in China because their students are destroying, obliterating our students in math, in science, you name it, across the board. So are the Koreans, so are the Japanese, frankly, so are many of the European countries. And so we're obsessing, think about this, whether a man is a man or a woman is a woman, a boy is a boy, a girl is a girl, basic science. As I said, if it dangles, it's a boy. If it doesn't dangle, it's a girl. It's really that simple. And what this has to do with the classroom is beyond me. And that's what the students are feeling. They feel this is not education, this is indoctrination. Number one. Number two, in other words, we're guinea pigs. And number two, and more importantly, we're getting robbed of an education, man. You're teaching us everything but what really matters. And reading is going down. Reading proficiency in this country is a disaster. International test scores, this is beyond a shadow of a doubt. This is indisputable. Our children, compared to other students around the world, can't read. They can't write. Their math is horrible. Science, let's not even talk about it. But they all know how to put a freaking condom on a cucumber. That they know. And now they don't know if they're a female, a male. You can be non-binary. You wouldn't believe the stuff now that they're pushing on these children. And these are 12, 13-year-old kids. And finally, all of them said, aren't we all Americans? Like, what is this? It's always some group, some victim, some identity, and notice, it's diversity until you challenge them. Then it's no longer diversity. You can protest if you're pro-Black Lives Matter, or if you're pro-Antifa, or if you're anti-police or anti-American. Then you can protest till the cows come home. But if you say, you know what, no, we've got a pride flag. It's called the American flag. It includes all of us. It speaks for all of us. And it gives us all equal rights. Suddenly, no. Now, you're going to get punished. You're going to be taught a lesson. They're going to make an example out of you. And we're going to snitch on you. And now, we're literally going to indoctrinate you. We got programs coming now for you. You're going to sit in hour after hour after hour of classes where they're going to talk about sex change operations, gender reassignment, puberty blockers. It just goes on and on and on and on. No, you may think you're a girl, but you're really a boy. You may be a boy, but you're really a girl. This is the kind of garbage that they're destroying our children with. This is child abuse. It really is. So here's what I say to the superintendent and the principal at Marshall Simmons Middle School in Burlington. Shut up and do your job. These kids want an education. They don't want to be brainwashed. You want politics? Do it in your home. You want your child to be some social justice warrior? That's your business. You do it with your child in the home. But it doesn't belong in the schools. Believe me, the world is passing us by. 617-266-6868. Agree, disagree? Patrick in Arlington. Thanks for holding, Patrick, and welcome.
Hey, thank you. Good morning, Jeff.
Hi.
I called you before when I was living in Burlington, right next to that school. My mother lives on Peach Orchard Road, and the side entrance to that school is there. Her property abuts them. I had no idea, and she's never told me that's going on over there. I mean, I'm a diabetic since I'm a kid. I've had it for over 51 years, and I struggle with mental illness now. And it goes on and on. I was molested as a kid. I was exposed to pornography by my own family. My dad had a stack of it in the bathroom. I became bisexual, to tell you the truth. And I hate, half of myself even hates myself. So I lived this lifestyle. And I have a clown in the next room out of a circus act that is gay all the way. And he is trying to kill himself all the time, suicide parties. Because he can't handle who he is. He's mentally ill as well. So two of us clowns out of the circus ended up together. And we were raised, both of us, stubborn Irish Catholics. And I don't even tell my family about my life. I don't care what they do in their bedroom. Why should they care what I do? But I do care about these kids. I don't like children ending up like me that don't know who they are half the time. And I'm on meds. Meds control my life because I hate who I am. I wasn't raised to be this person that I am. And I don't like this agenda. I do not support the gay pride I'm sick of every time I turn on the news, there's a new letter for these people that they're gay all the way and happy. We are not gay all the way. Well, the clown in the next room is, but I'm not. I hate this. I don't support it. I don't go to their parades. I don't do agenda.
Patrick, thank you for your heart-wrenching call. 617-266-6868 is the number. You can also text us 70470. Tremendous, powerful reaction from many of you. Text line is on fire. You're emailing the Kuhner Man as well. This is a really good one. Jeff, these kids in the Burlington Middle School know they're being bullied into supporting the leftist agenda that they don't believe in. And what's more, these students aren't in the minority. They speak for the greater majority of Americans. When we say, quote unquote, everybody has gotten involved, this in actuality is a very small group of people at the top making all the noise. For example, the governor, Governor Healy, one person. The mayor, one person. The principal, one person. The city council, a handful of people. The media, a small group of propagandists with a public megaphone. I could go on. This is how a small minority of people who in positions of influence attempt to fool the public into thinking they hold the majority when they don't. Bingo. And what you're seeing now is a resistance. It's not just here in Massachusetts. You're seeing it in California. Videos are now being released where students in math, 8th grade math, are saying, why are you showing us LGBTQ videos? What does this have to do with math class or with teaching us mathematics? Why are you ramming it down our throats? As some of the students yelled at the teacher, this is inappropriate for children our age. Why are you teaching us about all forms of, all different kinds of sex? And to me, this is the heart of my critique. We are sexualizing and grooming our children. That's what's so fundamentally wrong and evil about this. These are 12, 13-year-old kids. Sex has no business in the classroom. I don't care if it's heterosexual sex, homosexual sex, transsexual sex, bisexual sex, non-sexual sex, pansexual sex. There's so many letters now, you can't keep up after a while. This has no business in the classroom. Neither does promoting sexually mutilating surgeries. To tell these kids they need puberty blockers, or they need to be chemically castrated, or that girls need to get their breasts chopped off, or that boys need to have their genitals destroyed and become a girl. I mean, seriously, this is child abuse. This is sick. It's horrific. It's brutal. And I can't believe I even have to be saying this. So, but this is now where we are. And this is what dominates education now. We have the right to protect our children. And so look, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. We need to protect our children from being sexualized and being groomed in the classroom. And so they're being exposed to things and ideas and pictures and images and thoughts that they're too young, too innocent, can't comprehend, and it's bothering them. It's obviously bothering them. It's not appropriate. So I don't care if it's heterosexual sex, homosexual, I don't care. This has no business in public schools, and it has no business being pushed and propagated and peddled to young children. So that's why, I'm getting these idiot moonbats. You're a racist. Okay, first of all, stupid. Most of the kids in Burlington Middle School are white. So what does race have to do with any of this? You're a moron. You're homophobic. Oh, my God, are you stupid? Really, you're stupid. Who cares what you do in the privacy of your own bedroom? That's the point. Keep it private. It's your private life. Sleep with whoever you want to sleep with. It doesn't belong in the schools. I don't care, again, if it's heterosexual, homosexual, transsexual, bisexual, whatever sexual, okay? It doesn't belong in the classroom. Since when? I'm serious. Since when did school become sexual entertainment? And now they're pushing drag queens. Drag queen story hour. Drag queen at the library. That's why. And look, I've got nephews. I've got nieces. All of them, they go, Jeff, you don't understand. It's now a religion with these liberals. It's a religion with some of these woke teachers and principals. It's nonstop. It's not a day here, a day there, a poster here, a banner there. It's nonstop. The parent said to the teachers at the teachers meeting, you're shoving it down our kids' throats. Now, the other thing, there are two other super quick points. One, in that growing list of letters, it's LGBTQIA, and it just goes, I'm serious, it's just like 20 letters now with a plus. But they've now added something in parentheses. MAP. M-A-P. You know what MAP stands for? Minor attracted persons. That's a euphemism. That means they're attracted to young kids. That's a euphemism for pedophilia. So now, through all these letters, they're starting to inject that it's normal. It's okay if you want to diddle little kids. You want to have sex with an 8, 9, 10-year-old kid. That's okay. That's how they are. That's how they're born. That's how they're made. So they're trying now through this agenda, and that's why you're seeing Drag Queen Story Hour. That's why you're seeing transgenderism. That's why you see them talking about sex and grooming children for sex at a younger and younger and younger age, because they want to bring in pedophilia through the back door. It's so obvious. And to me, the other point, and this cannot be stressed enough, this is about parental authority over our children. Since when does the school decide something as intimate and personal as whether your children learn about being homosexual, being heterosexual, being transgender, being bisexual, being queer, I'm not kidding. There's they, them, your multiple people, your multiple personalities. What does this have to do with my child learning the ABCs? What does this have to do with the education of my child? So we are watching child abuse and the violation of our children right in front of our eyes. And the children are rebelling. The children are saying, we're sick of it. It's all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, my question to everyone in Burlington, to everyone in Massachusetts, and to everyone in America: what does LGBTQ plus, the transgender LGBT agenda, what is this? How does this make our schools better? How does this make our kids learn math and science and reading and writing and biology and chemistry and physics and have the necessary skills to succeed in life and to get a good, decent job and provide for their families? and to make us a competitive country? It doesn't. In fact, the science is crystal clear. A boy is a boy and a girl is a girl. Case closed. So now we're debating something as basic as, is a man and a woman a woman? Now you know why our kids are so freaking messed up. The students are finally saying enough is enough. We're not guinea pigs. We're not laboratory rats. Leave us alone. And by the way, they're also saying we're all Americans. Stop dividing us. Stop pitting one group against another. Stop fostering unnecessary grievances. And they're right. They're right. And yet, who speaks for the students? No one. Well, it's time I did. 617-266-6868 is the number. Agree, disagree. Lou in Rhode Island. Thanks for holding, Lou, and welcome.
Yeah, how you doing, Jeff? We have to always remember that tyrants always try to play the victim card. And that's what they're doing here. But I have three really big questions to ask you, and I'd like you to extrapolate on. The first one is this the hill that the Democratic Party, and this is national, this isn't just local in Burlington, because we saw Biden the other day saying these are our kids. This is a national agenda that if the Democrats ever get Congress, they're going to force on the American people. So is this the hill the Democrats want to die on in the next election, or they want to fight on in the next election? Because it seems like poll after poll after poll shows that 70% of the American public is against this stuff, against all this mutilation and all this transitioning of young people. So that's the first question. Is this the hill they want to fight on? Number two, are we now, as Tucker said in his latest video, are we now in a wannabe dictatorship where these kind of people rule over us? Where Biden gets out there and says these are our kids, and he has this pride thing the other day, that was a total disaster. And are we now any better? We're trying to defend democracy in Ukraine. Are we any better now as a democracy, or are we destroying democracy? Are we any better than Putin, Maduro, or anybody else? Are we any better than them? And the other thing is that I want to extrapolate it. Dan Crenshaw was on. He ripped, and he's not my favorite congressman. He ripped apart a Yale professor the other day, showing that these things just don't work. All this transitioning stuff, there's no study to support it. These things don't work. It's garbage. And we have to look at this as what are we doing here? We're allowing these tyrants to rule over us. We're destroying democracy. This isn't democracy. They have a right to protest. They have a right to speak their views. These kids have a right to go out and say what they feel as much as BLM does or Antifa does. And I really do feel that we're getting to the point now where this has to be a big national issue. If the Democrats want to try to defend it, then let them, because we're ready for them. What do you think?
Lou, I think this is going to blow up in their face. I completely agree with you. I think they're playing with real fire. I think the overwhelming majority of the American people are sick of this. We're all for tolerance. We really are. We don't care what you do, how you live your life in the privacy of your own home, with your partner, whatever it is. But now we're not doing tolerance anymore. Now you're being militant. You're trying to ram your agenda and force it upon everybody else. And you're going after our kids. And when you start going after our kids, you are crossing a major red line. That means you just are. And the students are rebelling. The parents are rebelling. The Muslims are rebelling. And notice, these liberal cowards who are texting me, emailing me, calling me a transphobe and a racist and a homophobe, go up to Michigan. I dare you. I dare you, you little gutless cowards. And you go after that all-Muslim city council. You go after the Muslim mayor. You go after those Muslim parents. I dare you to call them the exact same thing you're calling me. You don't have the guts. A, because you're going to be called Islamophobic, and B, you know when you mess with them, you could get in real trouble. Real trouble. So notice, they don't talk about these huge votes that are or protests being done by Muslim Americans. And it's not just in Michigan, in Montgomery County in Maryland, in places everywhere. They're saying, you're not pushing this on our kids. No way. Absolutely no way. And the liberal media doesn't say a word. They don't cover it. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter, Lou. What these puberty blockers do, what these hormones that they're giving these children do, many of these people lose the ability to enjoy, forgive me, a romantic sexual life when they're adults. This is harming them in such a permanent, severe manner. It's unalterable. And yet you're going to force this or try to convince kids it's good for them at 12, 13, 14, 15? I mean, what did I know at 13, 14, 15 years old? What does my Ashton know? He's 13. You know how impressionable 13-year-olds are? But you're going to say it's okay for them to have a sex change operation? Or to take chemicals or to take drugs that will literally, it'll obliterate their ability to reproduce. It'll change them and have harmful side effects for their health, their physical health, their mental health, for the rest of their lives that are irreversible. Now, if we don't stand up against this, then I'm telling you, as a society, we're worthless. And I'm sorry, but I have one critique with the parents who are defending their kids who are protesting. Stop semi-apologizing. They go up there, and I respect these parents. Please, don't get me wrong. But they're like, well, they shouldn't have torn down the banners. Well, they shouldn't have taken down the stickers. And I tell my kids, please be respectful. And I'm like, no, man. Who cares if they turn down? I don't care if they tore down the banners. Liberals tear down banners all the time. They tear down stickers all the time. No. These teachers and administrators should be brought up on child abuse charges for bringing this crap into the school. Yes, no, those banners should be torn down. They're sick. And it's gotten to the point, one of the daughters complained, actually many of the students complained, that the LGBTQ club in Burlington, the Spectrum Club, put up a big banner. And they took a quote from Tennessee Williams, the gay playwright, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof or Streetcar Named Desire, where he actually condemns people for being straight. He was like, no, the natural thing is to be gay. The abnormal thing, the unnatural thing, the immoral thing is to be straight. How dare you be a heterosexual? And so many of the students said, now you're attacking us for not being gay? Now you're attacking us because we're not lesbians or we're not bisexuals or we're not whatever, transgendered or whatever. So many of them are like, why are you doing this? Why do you keep attacking us for who we are? We just want to be left alone. Here is one of the banners, okay? There was a big pride flag hung on the wall with a banner next to it, a quote from Tennessee Williams, the gay playwright. Quote, what is straight? A line can be straight or a street, but the human heart, oh no, it's curved like a road through mountains. And so basically they're telling him you should be ashamed to be heterosexual or straight. If there's any bigotry, I'm not kidding, it's against Christians or people of religious faith in general. It's against conservatives. It's against straight people. It's against heterosexual people. This is not what they're pushing into schools. And so one of the parents, I'm gonna play the cut right now, said my daughter was like, okay, I'm straight. That's how God made me. What's wrong with that? Now I got to be ashamed of that? And they're telling me I have to wear this button saying I support LGBTQ pride? I have to wear it? I have to dress up in rainbow clothing? No. If I don't want to wear it, why should I be forced to wear it? Listen now. Here is the mother. She spoke up, one of the few that spoke up, Christine Steiner. Roll cut to C, Mike.
Human heart cannot be straight. It is curves and winds. And my daughter just kind of said, you know, Mom, that's offensive to me, who I am straight.
Here's what she said just before that. Roll cut to B, Mike.
Some of the kids threw the stickers on the ground. But, you know, I can only speak for my daughter. She didn't want to wear that to school. It's not that she wanted to hurt anybody's feelings.
Look, and that's another thing. I don't care if their feelings are hurt. So they're like, well, we don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't give it that. Notice they don't care about hurting our feelings. Hey, forget hurting our feelings. They want to ram their agenda, right through our brains. They want to take our children, mutilate literally, do a genital mutilation, chop off their breasts, chop off the parts underneath, and, hey, you have regrets when you're older? Too bad. That's life. No. The answer is blank off. That's our only answer now. Blank off. You want to do what you want to do it on your time and your dime. Okay? When you're 18, when you're an adult, you want to get a sex change operation, it's a free country. You want to take hormone blockers, that's a free country. You want to sleep with X, Y, and Z, that's a free country. But when it comes to our schools and it comes to our kids, hands off. The students finally rebel. And by the way, how come now liberals aren't saying it's great civil disobedience? Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer. Burlington now, actually the middle school to be more accurate. Marshall Simmons at the epicenter of a massive public firestorm, not just here in Massachusetts, but across the entire country. I want to ask all of you, are you sick and tired of corporate America, the media, just schools in general, constantly, day after day after day, ramming the LGBTQ radical agenda down our throats? Are you sick of it, like the students? And do you think it's now time to say, enough is enough? Leave us alone. 617-266-6868. Sal in Wakefield. Thanks for holding, Sal, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff.
Hi.
So the radical left, they started with the universities, and they're churning them out on conveyor belts, hating America. And now they're just going all in, and they're going straight even to the elementary school and high schools, but elementary now. How is this any different than the Hitler Youth? I mean, they're going after and trying to indoctrinate and brainwash as young as elementary school. How is it any different?
It isn't. I mean, Sal, to be honest, it's the communist youth, which is that they did the exact same thing. And they do it still like in communist China or Cuba or Venezuela. The communist youth or the Hitler youth. It's the exact same thing. And notice, Orwell talked about this in his novel. It was so brilliant, where he said, it's the lies of the regime and the contradictions of the regime. So you have this principal at Burlington Middle School who says the students must be taught, those that protested, quote, tolerance, acceptance, and respect. Well, where's the tolerance, acceptance, and respect for their views? For their opposition to the radical transgender agenda? For their opposition to the radical LGBTQ agenda? There's no tolerance. There's no respect. there's no acceptance. And so that's why we know, and that's why you can tell by their behavior, this is totalitarian. It's either you accept and be indoctrinated, or we will destroy you.
Oh, I agree. It's absolutely what's going on. Absolutely.
Sal, what's your sense? Do you think the parents are going to defend these students, or do you think they're going to let them hang out to dry?
I hope they don't fold. I mean, you know, I hope enough parents are waking up. If they start talking amongst each other, there's always going to be the crazy liberal mind, radical mind of parents. I mean, look at the hippies back in the day. They're actually, the hippies are now the parents that are doing this, but hopefully enough speak amongst themselves and they start waking up and saying, this is just wrong. It's wrong.
Sal, as always, thank you very much for your call. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, my friends, we asked Shauna O'Connell, the mayor of Taunton, to call in at any time at her convenience. She has just called in now. As you know, then this is about protecting our children and standing up for our children. This is a huge story, and it's a very difficult story. Shauna has an 18-year-old daughter. Her name is Riley O'Connell. She went to a mental health facility in Hilliard, Ohio. She had certain issues. It's personal. It's up to the family. Riley O'Connell left, I believe she left and got out of this facility. She is now missing. And the police in Ohio are desperately looking for Riley. Shauna O'Connell is in Ohio right now trying to find her daughter. She's been missing now for about a week. And joining us now is the mayor of Taunton, Shauna O'Connell. Shauna, as I wrote to you in my text, as a parent, I cannot imagine what you and your husband Ted must be going through. How are you holding up? And are there any updates on Riley and her location?
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, it's been really, really difficult. So we are in Ohio. Riley she left the facility where she was receiving treatment for mental health in Hilliard, Ohio. She had on black shorts and a pink tank top and no shoes. She has no money, no identification, no telephone, and she is without vital medication that she needs to have. She may have been spotted in Columbus, Ohio yesterday, the east side, but we have not verified that, so we're not assuming anything. She could be anywhere right now. But Columbus, Ohio police are looking for her. And it's called Ohio Missing People page on Facebook where people can see the flyer. They can also see it on my Facebook page. Riley may also be using the name Haley or Tiffany. And right now that's about all that we know.
Shauna, do they have any idea how she got out? I don't know, but aren't the doors closed, secured? Aren't there cameras? How did she just walk out of there?
So my understanding is they have an area out back where the patients can go outside, and it's only kind of semi-secure. It's a voluntary facility. And she just hopped over the fence and took off.
Ugh.
And I don't know, their policy is not to pursue, unfortunately. We would ask people, Jeff, if they see her, if they think they saw her, to please call 911 or call the Columbus Police Department with any information that they might have. We're here. We're doing our own kind of search, and we're putting up flyers. People have seen it on the news. We need to keep it in the news. We need to keep people aware. If people can just keep sharing that flyer with any organizations, any Facebook pages, anyone they know.
Okay, we have a lot of listeners in Ohio. To our Ohio listeners, please go on Shauna O'Connell's Facebook page. Shauna O'Connell, Mayor of Taunton here in Massachusetts. Her daughter's name is Riley O'Connell, O'Connell. You will see the missing person flyer. You can get a visual. She is 18 years old, 130 pounds, 5 foot tall. She has an alias, Tiffany Rose, Tiffany Silva. She's got long blonde hair with red tips. Shauna, apparently she was last seen wearing red shorts and a white tank top with no shoes, correct?
Well, actually, we've now been told that she was wearing black shorts with a pink tank top.
Okay, black shorts with a pink tank top. If you see anyone that resembles that in any way, shape, or form, call the Columbus Police. Sean, I believe they can also call the Taunton Police, right?
Yes, people can also call the Taunton Police Department. Call the
Taunton Police Department. Shauna, again, if I'm getting too personal, please tell me, what are the police telling you? Is there a good chance they'll be able to find Riley? Do they have some leads? Are they confident?
You know, she may have been spotted in Columbus on the east side yesterday, but with a black male. But we haven't been able to confirm that, so we don't know. But they're still looking for her here, but that doesn't mean that she couldn't have gotten in somebody's car and gone somewhere else and be in another state by now. So we really don't know, and it's a big city.
No cell phone?
Just say,
Shauna, no cell phone on her? Nothing like that?
No cell phone, no money. She has nothing.
And she needs vital medication.
She needs her medication. So if anybody has her, if anybody's seen her, we need her. We need to get her and we need to bring her home.
Is there a 1-800 tip line?
You know what, Jeff? I don't know that.
No,
that's
okay.
a good question.
No, believe me,
I
can't believe you're on the air. I can't believe you have the strength. And we're going to look for it. We're going to find it. We're going to give it to people. Shauna, I want you to know that throughout the entire show today, I'm going to continue to go back to this, and we're going to do everything that we can. Shauna, I prayed for you, Riley, your husband, your family last night before the show. I'm going to continue to pray. I'm asking the entire audience, please, if you see something, call. Just call. You see something, Columbus area, anywhere in Ohio, anywhere where you live. If you see anyone that resembles Riley, call the Columbus Police, call the Taunton Police. We need to help Shauna find her daughter. Shauna, my heart breaks for you. It breaks for you.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you.
If there's anything else I can do for you, we can do for you, please, you let us know, okay?
I will. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you to all your listeners that are going to be helping us.
God bless you. God bless you, Shauna. Take care. I have 2 children. This is my worst nightmare. So, anyway, Riley O'Connell, O'Connell. Please, if you see something, there's pictures of her. We have to help Shauna get her daughter back and bring her home. Okay, really, really good email from Larry. Just to show you how twisted and perverted and sick all of this is. Jeff, just imagine if Christian teachers were secretly teaching Bible lessons or Christianity to non-Christian kids. what would the reaction by liberals and the secularists be? That's a brilliant point. So in other words, the 10 Commandments, the Golden Rule, love your neighbor as, you would thyself, treat others and, with love and compassion the way you'd want to be treated. It would be all hell would break loose. All hell would break loose. And instead, they want to ram drag queens, transgenderism, and essentially gay pornography down the throats of our kids. And when we complain, we're the bad guys. You can't make this up. 617-266-6868 is the number. Agree, disagree. Let's go to Ken in New Hampshire. Thanks for holding, Ken, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff.
Hi, Ken.
We pray for Riley and your earlier caller, Patrick. We hate the sin. We love the sinners. We love you, Patrick, in your search for redemption. And reach our hearts out and pray that you are successful.
Amen. Amen, Ken. Very well said.
And getting to the points of the topic, we have to start speaking our language, not theirs. For most of our lives, when you're young, and at least before the 21st century, it was somewhat of a taboo to publicly use even the word sex. You're sort of ashamed you don't do that in private. Then the academics came along in the 1940s and made up a word. Most people don't even realize the word gender did not exist until the academics made it out of whole cloth in the 40s. So we're going to tear it out of our vocabulary and instead use the word, or words, DNA sex. So, okay, we have to use two words, but that's what we're talking about, DNA sex. Stop playing the make-believe games that you can be something other than whether you do or don't have a Y chromosome. Because if you have a Y chromosome, your DNA sex is male. If you don't, it's female. Period. End of story. Stop with the games. Well, we also have to talk about they expecting us to rip off and memorize all of these letters, which is nothing more than their alphabet mafia game that Jason Whitlock coined, and we're hearing it more and more for others. We need to keep talking about the mafia, the alphabet mafia. Why? Because they screwed up. It started with the G's and L's, and you know what? The G's and L's do this thing in their homes. That's fine. We can live with that. All the other letters we can't live with. You know why? Because each of those letters represent one or more of two things: mental illness or infidelity. You see, a gay person or a lesbian person, they can have fidelity to their partner. None of the others can. Or they have mental illness, or both. We don't want more of those other letters. That's a tragedy. And to encourage it is evil. And we have to speak clearly to that. You're defined by your actions, not by your imagination. So let's find a better path. And you know what? If they're going to shove this stuff into our schools, fine. Through what we just went through with the pandemic, didn't we find alternatives to the schools that we didn't like, whether it be a private school, whether it be homeschooling through pods? We have the power of taking back the culture in the manner that we want it to be. We just have to have the courage to stand up and do it.
Ken, I've got 1 minute left before the break. I want to quickly ask you, what do you make of the students at the middle school in Burlington tearing down some of those LGBTQ banners, signs, stickers, wearing red, white, and blue clothing, saying USA is my pronoun or USA are our pronouns? What do you say to that? Did they misbehave? Should they apologize for destroying school property?
Hell no, hooray. Those are people that are already acting like adults, knowing the difference between right and wrong, and willing to stand up for it.
Ken, as always, thank you so much for your call. Look, I'm going to say this. I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for saying it, but it's true, and everybody knows it's true. I think gays and lesbians are making a huge mistake, tethering themselves to this alphabet mafia. I'm with Ken on this all the way. They're tethering themselves to some real radical, dangerous extremists who I think want to do a lot of damage and harm to our children. Many of them are mentally ill, and I know there are gays against groomers. There are others that are finally speaking out, but if I were them, I would get the LG out of the LGBTQ. 617-266-6868 is the number. Jack in Scituate. Thanks for holding, Jack, and welcome. Hello, Jack. All right, let's go to Denise in Peabody. Thanks for holding, Denise, and welcome.
Hi, Jeff. How are you doing?
Good. How are you, Denise?
My prayers go out to that woman for that child. My
Yes.
God.
Mayor Shauna O'Connell. Yeah, that story really, I got to tell you, that really touched me because I've got two kids of my own. They're not 18 yet, but a 13 and a 10-year-old, and you know, that poor Riley's only 18, and for that poor mother and what that father must be going through. So anyway, I hope they find her. I hope the police are able to locate her. Hope someone in the audience can spot her, and she needs to be home with her mother. As I said off air, everything else can be worked out. Everything else will be fine. Just come home, and we can work everything else out. That's what I'd be saying to my daughter. Just come home.
Jeff, about the flag thing, the colored flag thing, whatever, the Pride of
yes,
June.
The Pride flag. Yes.
Right. My grandson had texted me about a month ago, first about he sent me pictures of the books they're teaching him in health class. Well, I flipped out and I called the school. They didn't do nothing. Then he texted me and he showed me a picture of the flag. They took down one of the American flags and they put that up at the Beverly High School. And me and my girlfriend having to gone through a couple of things with her, she gone through with her 4-year-old grandson coming home asking his mother if he was a boy or girl. Well, we were on the phone on a three-way. We called the mayor's office and the school, and they didn't care. They just didn't care. This is awful what they're teaching our children. I blame this on Biden himself. I don't like the man, and I want him impeached. He's ruined this country. He's put it upside down.
Denise, I want to ask you something, and you tell me if you agree or disagree. A couple days before this occurred, right? June 2nd is when they had Pride Month. They had Spirit Day for Pride Month, so everybody was told you got to wear, rainbow clothing, like rainbow-themed clothing, and you got to have a button or a sticker saying you support the LGBTQ agenda, banners, signs, you name it. But several days before was Memorial Day. And many of the students were saying, how come we're not celebrating Memorial Day? I mean, you won't even unfurl an American flag or put up one banner or one sign. Hey, to all the vets who died for our country, thank you. They deliberately ignored Memorial Day. But it's a whole month for the Rainbow Mafia. A whole month. And on that day, basically everybody was required to show their support and solidarity, essentially. And, the students were like, we feel under a lot of pressure, and we have to wear stickers, and we have to wear clothes, and we have to wear buttons, and why are you forcing me to participate in something I don't want to participate in? Why, Denise, are they deliberately ignoring Memorial Day, yet they're spending an entire month, a whole month, on LGBTQ and plus and plus and plus?
trying to ruin our kids, Jeff. They're trying to destroy this country. And it is being destroyed. And this is America. It's red, white, and blue. It's America.
You know, I agree. Denise, I agree. And thank you very much for that call. They want the pride flag to replace the American flag. I think there's no question now. In fact, they want the transgender pride flag. That's what they're really pushing, to replace the American flag. And notice, the students, you know, they're saying, you know, there was homophobia. What did they say? They wore red, white, and blue, and they said, our pronouns are USA. In other words, we're all Americans. Stop with this garbage. Stop dividing us. Stop it. Stop pitting one group against another. We're just done. We have a pride flag. It's the American flag. It represents and symbolizes all of us. And people have fought and died for that flag, which defends all of our liberties and all of our rights. And yet somehow now defending America, chanting USA, USA, wearing red, white, and blue, suddenly now that's what? That's intolerance? That's hatred? That's bigotry? This is what I mean. The Democrats have now, I'm telling you, they're waging a war on America and on everything America stands for and symbolizes. No, I would do the exact opposite. I would shame that moonbat mayor of Burlington. I would shame Maura Healey. I would shame that superintendent. I would shame that moonbat principal. What do you have against the American flag? And we got an 8 o'clock break coming up soon. So with the Kuhner's call log, I want to read to you what they're doing now. This is a predominantly Muslim town, a lot of Muslim immigrants in this town in Michigan. It's an all-Muslim city council. Every member of the city council is Muslim. The mayor is Muslim. Okay, this is the only town this exists in the United States. I want to read to you part of the speech that they gave about why they will only fly the American flag and no other flag on government buildings. How they are defending the American flag and how they say, no, we're not flying your pride flag. You're not ramming your LGBTQ radical agenda down our throats. No, what you want to do in your home is your business. How you want to raise your kids is your business. But you're not going to force it and impose it on us. And I'm looking at this, and honestly, at times it was so powerful and so eloquent and so moving. And I'm like, it takes now Muslim refugees. Literally, there's a Muslim immigrant from Yemen. This poor guy who fled Yemen as a baby and then returned to Yemen. You got to hear him. And he saw what life now is like in Yemen. And he's chastising everybody in the room, but especially those LGBT activists, and saying, how dare you spit on this flag? How dare you disrespect this flag? You have no idea what life is like in most other countries around the world. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, where are the Christians? Where are the Jews? Where are the Hindus? So it takes Muslims now? They're the only ones with the balls and the guts to stand up to this LGBTQ mafia? And many people are saying, no, they're not afraid. I'm telling you, they're just not afraid. And they're protesting. They're protesting in front of schools, not just in Michigan, everywhere. They're protesting in front of schools. You got to see them. Now, some of the books that they're trying, for example, in Montgomery County in Maryland, we're talking 6th, 7th, 8th grade. This is the garbage now they want to middle school kids. I looked at the book that they want to introduce in the classroom and introduce in the school library. It is so explicit. It is so vile. If an adult in a room read or described the pictures, the committee or the school board would say, please stop. Stop. This is disgusting. And they're not just describing it. They're showing pictures of people doing it. And how you do it the right way, I swear to you, it's a family show, so I got to be careful. And how you do it the wrong way. But when I say it's graphic, it is graphic. Now, these Muslim parents were saying, over our dead bodies, you're going to push this to our kids in our schools? No. Hey. No. No way. You're going to have yourself a political jihad. That's what you're going to have. And I mean, I got to give them credit. Man, they protested. They petitioned. They melted down the phone lines. They didn't back down an inch. And they're like, and I got to say, and their defense is not Weasley or apologetic or mealy-mouthed. The family is sovereign. You will not mock or insult God. Religious freedom and religious liberty are non-negotiable. You will not pervert or defile our children. And they're there in massive numbers, and they stood their ground. I mean, I got to tell you, I tip my hat off to them. I really do. So I'm telling you, and by the way, everybody's commenting, if conservatives really wanted to win elections, you go to so many of these immigrants now that have come to the United States, and you just show them what they want to do to their kids. Just show them. Show them Drag Queen Story Hour. Show them the drag queen entertainment, sex entertainment shows that they're doing in schools and in libraries. Show it to them. Show them these books. Show them what they want in the classroom. And you've got them in the palm of your hand, man. The Republican Party could get 70% of the vote like this. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, my friends, 8 o'clock, you know what that means? Caller of the week, Kuhner's Call Log.
It's time for Kuhner's Call Log, sponsored by MyPillow.com, where we showcase our favorite caller from the week.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Thanks for holding, Tom.
When I heard this last night, I was just shocked at these Judases. What does it take for them to cast a vote to censor the guy? I mean, what does he have to do? And what's disappointing is, Thomas Massey from Kentucky, and I can't believe Warren Davidson from Ohio voted not to censor this guy. Davidson's MAGA, so I don't know if they're on medication or something, Jeff. You had asked a question this morning, and you had said, is our republic gone? I would like to answer that in a song verse, singing, bye, bye, our republic just died. Luna censored Adam Schiff, but the votes came up dry. Those 20 rhinos are drinking whiskey and rye, singing Trump is going bye-bye. Trump is going bye-bye.
And next week, it could be you on Kuhner's Call Log, sponsored by MyPillow.com.
Please, don't be a stranger. Call again. Phenomenal call. Honestly, one of the best calls we've ever had. Congratulations again, and really, to the callers, you're great every week. This week, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I can't tell you how much I thank all of you. You are the best in the business. Okay, my friends, as you know, MyPillow 2.0 is now here. It is incredible. I've had it now for about 2 months. It is the best, softest, most luxurious pillow you will ever sleep on. Right now, it is an incredible deal. You buy one MyPillow 2.0, you get the other one absolutely free, and it's 100% made in the USA. So call now, 1-800-972-2316. Go to MyPillow.com, MyPillow.com, and don't forget to use the code WRKO. Okay, very quickly. In the Michigan town of Hamtramck, okay, Hamtramck, Hamtramck, Hamtramck. So it's got a very heavy Muslim population. It's one of the most immigrant cities in the entire United States. It is the only city or town with an all-Muslim city council and a Muslim mayor. Well, guess what? Just a couple days ago, they voted unanimously to approve a resolution that would ban the LGBTQ plus pride flag from being flown on the city's public property. In fact, the only flag that can be flown on city property or municipal buildings is the American flag, along with state, city flags, and the POW, the MIA POW flag. And apparently there was a lot of debate. LGBTQ activists descended upon that town, and I got it. Look, the resolution was proposed by the mayor, Mohammed Hassan. And I want to give Mohammed Hassan full credit. He held his ground. And and so did the entire city council. And the city councilman, Naeem Chudhuri, told LGBTQ plus people, you will not be discriminated against in our city, but you need to respect the religious liberty of the city's Muslim community. Quote, here's what he said. We want to respect the religious rights of our citizens. To the LGBTQ crowd, you guys are welcome. But why do you have to have the flag shown on government property to be represented? You're already represented. We already know who you are. By making this about bigotry, it's making it like you want to hate us. And then he turned around and said, we are Muslims. You must respect our religious freedoms, our religious liberty, our religious values. Now, the guy that really stole the show was an immigrant from Yemen who got up and spoke in favor of the resolution. And I just want to read a part of it. He talked about how he came to the United States from Yemen as a 7-year-old child, but that ironically, in schools in America and in college, he was told that America was an evil, racist country. That's what he was taught in schools here. And so he goes, well, they taught it and I believed it. But then, quote, it was not until I went back to Yemen as an adult and saw poverty and chaos at another level that you just wouldn't imagine. Political repression, no freedom of speech, no freedom of religion, no freedom of the press. Where here in America, you can worship your Creator in peace and tranquility. And then he turned around and said, unfortunately, many people in our country don't seem to understand what they have in America. They don't know, or they don't want to know, what it's like to live in extreme poverty, what it's like to live under severe repression, where there's no freedom of speech, no freedom of religion. And then, this is the part where I could not have said it better myself. I mean, when I say he brought the house down, people just started clapping, cheering. I owe my success, he's a successful businessman, I owe my success and my livelihood first and foremost to the Creator himself, Almighty God, then to this great country. Our soldiers fought, bled, and died in the jungles of Iwo Jima and the beaches of Omaha so that you and I can live with peace, prosperity, and freedom. Those soldiers fought under the American flag and no other. It is shameful and embarrassing to have any other flag on public buildings. You have the freedom to display whatever you wish in your home or your private businesses. We respect all nations, cultures, and their flags, but we only salute the American flag. And then he looked at every single council member, and he said, quote, "Do not waver and do not flinch. You are doing the right thing. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America." This is what they're doing now in front of an all-Muslim city council and a Muslim mayor, I kid you not, in Michigan. Now, you tell me, if they can stand up against the LGBTQ mafia in Hamtramck, Michigan, you tell me we can't do that in Burlington? Or in cities and towns all over Massachusetts or all over the country, especially here in the cradle of American liberty, the cradle of the American Revolution in Massachusetts? I stand with those students at Burlington. There's only one flag, and that's the American flag. 617-266-6868. Agree, disagree. Dave in Dorchester. Thanks for holding, Dave, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff.
Hi.
Jeff, you know, it really gets me, number one. We're just a gay society, have the right to even put a rainbow for their symbol on a flag. You and I both know the very first rainbow came from God after God destroyed the world during the Noah. And Jeff, it's an insult to God for them to put the rainbow as their symbol, because we both know the entire situation is an abomination. So where do they get off by teaching this to little kids in school? Jeff, I had a drag queen in my car because of my job. Jeff, I pull up to Market Basket to pick up a guy. The guy's full dragged out. And he didn't like the attitude that I gave him because I had to pick up another passenger. And he was having a fit, thinking that his ice cream was going to melt in the back seat if he didn't get home on time.
Dave, can you do me a favor? I want to finish this conversation with you. Take more of your calls. Don't touch that dial. Okay, let's go right back to Dave in Dorchester. So, Dave, you do some driving for a living. There was a drag queen that you picked up, and apparently the drag queen got a little bit difficult. Could you explain, Dave?
Okay, Jeff. This happened when I used to work for the MBTA ride and out of Lynn, with the company Gliss. So what happened is that I had to pick this guy up at Market Basket in Chelsea. Now, I have on my list, Jeff, a guy's name. Jeff, I'll kid you not. I called out the guy's name, and I get the response, "Here I am." Jeff, not even kidding, fully dragged. Guy had a mini skirt on, friggin' shoes on, you name it, he had it on. So I had to get all his groceries in the back of the car. So at the same time, Jeff, I had to pick up two people that was at the same time, one after another. So I had to go to the Prudential Tower and wait for this other passenger to come out. Jeff, I waited an hour. It was one of those hot summer days we had a few years back. This guy was having a total conniption. He called my supervisor on the phone, started complaining to my supervisor. Jeff, this guy had a total conniption to my car. I had to pick up another guy who was also dressed in drag out in Arlington one day, and he was having a conniption because I had to go pick up another passenger. Jeff, the attitude is totally bogus. It's like they think they own you if they're the passenger if you get them in the car. Jeff, it's totally ridiculous. And like I said, they have the nerve to put the rainbow for their symbol. Jeff, that's not even right. I love the rainbow after we have a good thunderstorm and a rainbow comes out. And that's by the power of God to represent the scriptures of the Old Testament after the flood. And you and I both know what the flood means, of the rainbow, and God will not destroy the world by flood. But the day will be coming, Jeff. The second coming ain't far away.
You know what? I'm just curious, Dave. There's now videos. What really got the Muslim community in Maryland going berserk, and then in Michigan and others, which led them now to really pushing back hard, was there were viral videos where they saw drag queens performing. Now, this is what everybody noticed. Everybody, even the media noticed this. When the Muslims were protesting, the Muslim Americans were protesting against, the transgenderism and LGBTQ in the schools, they said you have all of these massive numbers of Muslims on one side. The other side were all whites, but predominantly white women. Like 95% white women. Then in the viral videos, you have drag queens who are performing, and as you said, high heels, very short skirts, stockings, very sexually provocative. And they're twerking and they're moving their crotch and in the entire room, every single one, white woman, usually white mother, and I kid you not, Dave, the kids could not have been more than 18 months old, 2 years old, 3 years old maximum. And so you have these white mothers holding their kids with their little binky in their hand, their pacifier in their hand, and these drag queens are performing sexual acts or sexually very suggestive acts, sexual entertainment. The mothers are yucking it up. They love it. And these drag queens are just, they're just basking in all this attention and the music and the sexual gyrations. I've got to ask you, Dave, what is it with this fascination, in particular, with liberal, young, white women, many of them mothers, with drag queens? The women are the ones smiling. The women's are the one enjoying. The kids don't understand what's going on, but the women are smiling, laughing, giggling. They love the show. And they feel the need to bring their kids to see it. Why?
Jeff, is all demonic. It's pretty much Satan taking over the human mind. And if they don't repent, Jeff, it's going to be just like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Well, I think, Dave, I agree. I think it's even worse. I think this is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. My honest opinion. I think this is starting to put Sodom and Gomorrah to shame. Dave, thank you very, very much for that call. No, I agree. Look, it's demonic. There's no question. It's diabolical. Who does that? You bring young, innocent, I'm talking, you got to see these videos, 2-3-year-old kids. That's when the Muslim community just went crazy. In fact, they said, they were like, this is really good, wholesome, innocent, family-friendly entertainment. They were being sarcastic. And they were showing the video, and everybody started to watch it, and they're like, no, you're not doing that to our kids. No, that's not coming to our schools. No way. No, but look, you know me, I don't care about race. I really don't. To me, we're all, children of God. But everybody has noticed, for some reason, the audience, this appetite, this demand, if you can call it, for these drag queens to perform in front of their babies, in front of their young, we're talking toddlers, children. It's overwhelmingly, almost exclusively, liberal, white women and mothers. Why? Like, this is, it's not black women, it's not whatever, Latino women or what, brown skin, whatever. I'm just, it's not, it's I don't get it. Like, I honestly don't get it. You think this is fun? Sexualizing your kids is fun? There's something sick going on. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer, cleaning up the liberal bull. Rob in Weymouth. Thanks for holding, Rob, and welcome.
Jeff. The mind molesters are at it again. You know, can we get one thing clear? That flag that everybody's been talking about is the 1950 International Peace Flag. Can you say the word socialist? So, that it was hijacked, and the other team loves to hijack symbols. So then they hijacked it and they took the flag. But the reason I'm calling, Jeff, is, as you know, I do some delivery when I'm not politicking. And I've been driving down the highway, and I noticed us on the sign going across the highways, the major highways, Happy Pride, do not text. So I say, okay, Mr. Department of Transportation, this is a federal road using public property, and these people are a political group disguised as something else. And that's what they do. This is all theater. And the reason why the women are all there, they're all in the theater. They're all auditioning for the audience. You know, the Oprah Winfrey show or something. That's why those women are there. I guarantee you they all have a background of the arts, you know, the theater. That's who they are. And their instinct is to protect these people, that's why they're women. You know, that's what they do. That's their natural thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what they do. But so, Jeff, I called the department. I had to go through 3 or 4 different layers of bureaucrats to say, okay, so what's the story? Who decided that Happy Pride thing was appropriate? I call it's a distraction for drivers. Usually those signs are for icy conditions, snow, potholes. But no, you got to put some political statement up there. I said, okay, I didn't want to get into the religious part of it. I want to get into the political part of it. Since I'm a political person, I want my sign up there for 720 hours for a month. What about that? And who came up with this decision? Oh, there's a group of people. I said, I want their names. I'll FOIA the names, and we'll find out. It's inappropriate, Jeff. It's funny as hell. It's funny as hell. It's distractive, and it's a political message. So let's cut the crap with all being nice with these people. These people's job is to destroy your family. And anybody that is complicit in allowing this to happen, mother, father, oh, I don't want to be bullied. I don't want to be saying things to me. Tough crap, okay? Listen, lady, you're causing me problems. Sir, you're causing me problems by not standing up. They're destroying your children in front of you, and you're letting them. Because these people, at this age, they don't look at them as children. They're projects, Jeff.
Rob, I got to tell you, we're lucky if we look at them as projects. Because as I mentioned, you know, the way they're trying to sexualize and groom our children, I think there's no question. Some of them, a la Joe Biden with his daughter Ashley, according to what she alleges in the diary, I think they look at some of these children, frankly, as sexual objects. Not just projects, but as someone to have sex with. I mean, Rob, am I wrong?
Well, this is the perversion party. And when you talk to the people are locked into them, you know, like the union guys, and you say to them, listen, guys, you're stuck here with these people. And when you start, going into the teachers are bad, tired of them, tired of all the union people. I said, listen, you're complicit. And when you start probing them, okay, I said, as a teacher, I hire you, Miss Jones, to teach. I'm not hiring an advocate, okay? You should put on your front face when you apply for the job. My job is to destroy your children, okay? Because they're not your children. This is nonsense. Hey, parents, you got to get tough out there. They're not stopping. They're coming, and they're going to destroy your kids, and you're going to go, oh, what happened? This is your fault. Your fault. Hey, Jeff, listen, make sure you come down to Hull on July 3rd for the Happy Birthday America birthday party down in Hull. Please, Jeff, come on down and celebrate some cake. Please celebrate and also go to Boston on the 4th and boycott Michelle Wu. Just another communist. Just another communist. Don't allow her to destroy the 37 locations in Boston, of which 24 are federal and the other 17, whatever, are state. She's bad. We call her the Black Widow now, okay, Jeff? Little Miss Teacup. She's bad news, and she's a full-blown commie. Jeff, Rob Burke, 2024. BurkeForCongress.com. See you, buddy.
Take care, Rob. As always, I appreciate the call, my friend. 617-266-6868 is the number. Sarah in Mansfield. Thanks for holding, Sarah, and welcome.
Hi, thank you. I wanted to answer you on why those young mothers are out there. I wanted to say I'm an old senior cockroach suburban, as the View would call me, woman. And as a senior female, I was in the 80s working in New York City, and I went to an all-girl, maybe some of your callers remember, it was called Catherine Gibbs. And when you went there, you were protected by, you would have a business attire, business decorum, and you go into a business, and that was the barrier between any flirtation by males. You had a business decorum, and you felt safe. And when I have nothing against the drag. It's entertainment. I don't think it's education. It should be entertainment for those that are of age and want to view it. My point is this, and I have mixed feelings because I have been, and I'm not a victim, I'm just telling you the facts, raped, assaulted on vacation when I was young, almost sex trafficked. I got out, they took my passport. Any form of abuse a woman could get because I'm a small, petite female. And we fought, senior women fought to have rights in business. They fought to stand their ground, to matter. And these young females, because of the older females fighting for that, those younger moms didn't have to deal what we had to deal with. And they threw away business attire, and they say, hey, I get to wear a mini skirt, or I get to wear, whatever, which is fine. But in business, if business is held that if you work here, this is what you wear, it's a business, it's not a beach party. I don't know how to express it. I'm offended in some senses when I see them twerking and doing these things in front of children. They're taking what was female, everything that we fought against. We fought against those stereotypes, and it breaks my heart. And I mean no offense to anyone, but the best way I can express it, it almost feels like blackface to a female who fought in the trenches so hard and had to, try to get out and get their passport or try to get that position or see that they were paid less. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, Sarah, I think by the way, I'm very sorry what happened to you. I am so sorry what happened to you. But no, Sarah, I think in many ways, I think you've hit the nail right on the head. And I want to thank you very much for the call and your courage to call. No, I agree with you. Look, a lot of women fought hard, to their credit, to take sex out of the workplace. Sexual harassment laws were put in. Women insisted, hey, look, stop pinching my rear end. Stop telling me if I got to advance, I got to sleep with the boss. Stop, I'm not a sexual object. Treat me like a woman. Treat me like a human being. Treat me with the full value that I have and pay me equal pay for equal work. And now what you're seeing is the resexualization of our workplace. What's even scarier is now they're sexualizing the classroom. That's what we're seeing. And I agree with you. Look, I really am a classical liberal in the Jeffersonian sense. I really am. Like many Americans, I'm tolerant to the core. I don't care what you do. I really don't. But it's in the privacy of your home. Or whatever, a venue or private, something that's private. So if adults want to have a good time and they have a drag show or whatever, and this has been done for so long, really, that's your business. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about drag queens going to children in schools, in libraries, or you've got mothers bringing 1, 2, 3-year-old kids. And you see them in mini skirts or stockings or lingerie, high heels, twerking, moving their crotch, they're pumping their crotch and literally doing lewd sex acts in front of their kids, and the mothers are yucking it up. Woo! Woo! So it's like sexual entertainment, but for children. But the mommy is there holding them. Ha, 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 ha. I'm looking at this and I'm like, when did this suddenly become a fad? When did I miss this? And it is so wrong on so many levels. And now that they're trying to ram it down our throats, impose it on us, on elementary school kids, kindergarten kids, middle school kids. And I feel sorry for those middle school kids in Burlington really on two grounds. One, you mean they had to rebel on their own? Like the parents didn't stand up and say, you're going to leave my kid alone. And two, now that they finally did have the guts to rebel, they're the second coming of Adolf Hitler? Are you kidding me? 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, my friends, just very quickly, I want to stay right on topic, but we had Taunton Mayor Shauna O'Connell on about maybe over an hour ago. This is a tragic story. I hope it has a happy ending. Fingers crossed. So her 18-year-old daughter, Riley O'Connell, mental health issues. It's a private issue. I don't want to get involved or say too much about it, but Riley O'Connell, 18 years old, was having mental health issues. She went to a facility to get treatment in Hilliard, Ohio. Several days ago, to the shock and horror of Shauna O'Connell and her husband Ted, Riley O'Connell left the facility, escaped, whatever you want to use, whatever term you want to use. She is now missing. Their 18-year-old girl is missing. She has she's without vital medication. Everyone is very worried about her safety, about her well-being. So Riley O'Connell is 18 years old. She's 130 pounds, 5 feet tall. You can get a physical description. They have pictures of her, missing person. She's now considered officially a missing person. She was last seen in Columbus, Ohio. We have a lot of listeners in Ohio, but she may be trying to make her way back here. So if you spot her, maybe in New Hampshire or who knows where she is, but please be on the lookout for her. You can see a picture of her, several pictures, on Shauna O'Connell's Facebook page. She also may be using the alias Tiffany Rose or Tiffany Silva. She's got long blonde hair with red tips. She was last seen wearing black shorts with a pink tank top and no shoes. So basically, if you see someone who looks 18-ish, blonde hair, red tips, black shorts, pink tank top, and no shoes, please, you can call the police in Columbus, or you can call the Taunton police, or I have a 1-800 number. This is the Ohio Missing Person Tip Line, 1-800-282-3784. Again, 1-800-282-3784. And I'll be giving this number out again in the next hour. As I said to the mayor, to Shauna O'Connell, really thoughts and prayers for her, Ted, and of course her beautiful young girl, Riley. I just hope she's fine and that she comes home. And I've been praying for her, and I hope all of you say a prayer as well. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, very quick. A couple days ago, Joey, Creepy Joe, Dementia Joe, held an official Pride event at the White House. And of course, they flew the Pride flag. They had lights. The White House lit up in rainbow-colored themes. But what was most shocking and disgusting to many people was that he invited influential transgender activists, in particular 3 of them. One, a biological female who now considers herself a male, and then a male who is transitioning to a female. The male who's transitioning to a female actually has genuine artificial breasts. Like, in a way, they look like a woman. They're artificial, but they're, they've got, forgive me, the breast, the nipple, the whole thing. This activist went topless. Topless, completely topless. And they took pictures of this, they videotaped it, they put it on social media, and this was done at the White House, at this event, with Biden maybe, 20 feet away, and there is completely, it's nude. Nude from the waist up. Now, it was basically pornography, soft porn. The other 2 were women who now identify as men. So what they did was they chopped off their female breasts as part of their transitioning process, and they also went topless to show, hey, look, here are my former breasts. They got chopped off, and now I've got like male nipples. And some of them even managed to grow a little bit of hair on their chest. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what everybody is talking about. How you can disrespect the White House, how you can disrespect the American people. This is now pornography, public obscenity, public nudity, right there in the White House, in front of the President of the United States. Now, this is not about acceptance. This is not about tolerance and compassion and respect for diversity. No one's stopping these adults. They're all 3 of them adults. Hey, you want to chop off your breasts? You want to become a woman? You want to put on artificial female fake breasts? That's your business. You want to have multiple sexual partners? That's your business. But now you got to take your clothes off in public? And you think it's cool? And you want to expose this to everyone? And you want to expose it to children? So we're now doing basically pornography? That's what we're doing at the White House? Now, as I told Sandy when this story broke a couple days ago, I go, we've hit rock bottom. And I go, actually, no, we haven't. Because I'm telling you, they're going to go full nude. You mark my words. They're going to say, hey, I chopped my male, schlong. I chopped it off. Here it is. Look at this. I got a fake female piece down there. Look at this. Look at this, baby. Or, a woman will, a woman who's transitioning to a man or has transitioned will say, hey, look at this. I carved it out. It's gone. And now I've got an artificial male genitalia. Look at this. Look at this bad boy just dangling there. Look, take a picture of this. That's what's coming. And now, after that, there's only one more step. And I'm telling you, okay, you're going to laugh. You're going to mock me. You're going to mock. The liberals are going to mock. Oh, look at Kuhner. Look at Kuhner. It's already coming. You see it in Europe. They're already now in the shadows pushing this. Public nudity, public sexual acts. Forgive me, fornication, sex in public. Sex in public. That's who they are. That's how they have to express themselves. And they just, right in front, right there. And by the way, big story today, public sex acts on Mass and Cass here in Boston. Everybody's saying it happens every day, literally in public, on the sidewalk, naked, and they're going at it in public. So it's already here, but now they're going to try to, quote unquote, normalize it. Unless this evil, this barbarism, this war on God, this war on morality, on religion, on basic human decency, unless this thing is stopped, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. 617-266-6868. By the way, this was not, Sodom and Gomorrah was not this bad. I'm just, if you read the Bible, it was bad, but it wasn't this bad. Donald in Arlington. Thanks for holding, Donald, and welcome.
Jeff, thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure.
This moment. I really appreciate it. And first and foremost, I want to say I prayed for Riley, the Taunton lady, his daughter. I pray that someone sees something, say something, and she returns home safely.
Amen.
Amen. Biden opened up Pandora's box. Okay? I got a little rhyme for you. God is glorious, Trump's victorious, 2024, Trump and Lake, 2024, I'm saying no more. Listen, Jeff, thank God for my brother, because he got me into you, okay? And I love your show. And they are preying on our kids. I am a father of 3 boys, okay? I take care of my mother for a living. I don't get to see my kids due to my hardships or whatever. That's neither here or there. But my priority is to take care of my mother, okay? She brought me into this world, okay? She can take me out. So, what I'm trying to agree with you on is that groomers are loose, are out there, okay? And last I remembered, it was LGBTQIA+. Then my brother had to tell me they added MAPS.
That's right.
I'm like, I heard it on your show this morning, and in parentheses, minor attracted
persons. In other words, people who want to have sex with kids.
Abomination.
It's pedophilia. Yeah, I mean, these are child molesters and pedophiles. That's what this is. Donald, I've got to ask you, what do you make of those students rebelling at that Burlington Middle School, tearing down the banners, the signs, throwing off stickers, saying we're not going to wear your rainbow clothes or themed clothes. We're going to dress in red, white, and blue. We're going to say USA is our pronoun. We are not going to participate in Pride Month or in this so-called Spirit Day. They are now being demonized. They are being viciously destroyed and attacked in the media. The principal is after them, the school superintendent. Were they wrong? Were they disrespectful, or did they do the right thing?
The right thing. They weren't disrespectful by any means. You know what I mean? It's an abomination, Jeff. And they did the right thing, okay? And like I said, I've had my hardships. Like, what I just want to say, right, it's an abomination because I'm on a medication. I transfer. I take care of my mother so I don't have to drive. Basically, long story short, is I'm now out of...
Oh, I know. No, Donald, I hear you. I hear WTF. No, I hear you. No, I hear you. Look, and now look, it's a man. This is what happened at the White House. It's a man who's taken so many hormones, estrogen, female hormones, wears makeup. I gotta say, with the artificial female breast implants. Now, I don't know what they've done with the bottom part, But with the top part, they look, frankly, semi-real. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. So, and now they just take them off. They're like, take a look at these bad boys. Take a look at this. Wiggling and shaking them, literally shaking them. And they put them on, they're filming this, and it goes on social media, and it goes viral, and this is at Biden's official Pride event. This is no longer, look, this is obscene. This is profane. This is disrespectful. This is wrong on so many levels. This is pornography. This is public nudity. No problem. No problem. I mean, this is now what it's come down to. So I keep trying to tell everybody, they're using tolerance now to aggressively, militantly push and impose their worldview, their values, and their agenda on us. So if we don't stand up against them, I don't know what else you stand up against. Like, really. Now, if you want to know what it's all about, this is what it's all about. And this is the question now we have to face. This is what we are confronted right now. This is part of their communist revolution. And now they're not even hiding it. So what they did is that Biden did a video, and they posted it on the White House's official account in celebration of Pride Month, their Pride Spirit Day that they had over at the White House. And this is aimed directly at kids. And what they're saying is, if you want to take puberty blockers, go for it. Hormones, go for it. Chemical castration, go for it. What they call gender-affirming care, quote unquote, i.e. sex change operations, go for it. Listen now to Biden. I'm not kidding. In his video saying, you know why you should be able to do it? Because your children don't belong to you, the parents. No. Your children belong to the state. They belong to the government. They are our children. Roll cut 12, Mike.
These are our kids. These are our neighbors. Not somebody else's kids. They're all our kids. And our children are the kite strings that hold our national ambitions aloft. It matters a great deal how we treat everyone in this country. LGBTQ Americans, especially children, you're loved, you're heard, and this administration has your back.
I mean, this is beyond disgusting. I mean, they're now socializing the family. They're basically now nationalizing the family. So now what they're saying is, so hold on, my Ashton and my Ava, they're everybody's kids now? What he's saying is, that isn't your child. That's the government's child. The government owns your child. And we can teach them whatever we want to teach them. So if we're going to teach them that they're a girl instead of a boy, or a boy instead of a girl, then you're just going to shut up and take it. And if we tell them they're non-binary, or they're whatever, they're transsexual or transgender or gay or whatever we tell them, that's what they are, and you have no right to stop us. And if we want to encourage them to mutilate their body parts, that's our business. That's our right. And if we tell them to take drugs that will literally destroy them and have an impact that will change their lives and is irreversible, you have no rights as parents. Why? Because it's not your child, it's our child. It's the government's child. Your child belongs to us. Now you know why they call him Creepy Joe. Now, I'm going to say it because this needs to be said. Joe Biden is accused of molesting his 12-year-old daughter, 12-year-old daughter, by his own daughter. In her diary, Ashley Biden explicitly says that he took inappropriate showers with her when she was 11 and 12 years old, and she says that's why she's so messed up. That basically those sexual acts, those molesting acts, destroyed her entire life. We know he's legendary. Sniffing little girls, touching inappropriately little girls, fondling little girls, always coming up and sniffing the hair. He's a weirdo, man. He wants to legalize or decriminalize, normalize pedophilia, sexually grooming our children, sexualizing our children. And the only way you can do that is if you say, that's not your child, it's the government's child. They want to destroy parental authority, the sovereignty of the family, and they ultimately want to corrupt and sexualize our kids. You've got sick pedophiles in government, sick pedophiles in Hollywood. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. Look at Epstein Island. Look how many powerful people would go to that island and have sex, forgive me, with underage minors. So I don't care what anybody says. There is now clearly a powerful pedophilia ring in culture, in business, in politics. And now they're telling us that they can say anything, do anything, indoctrinate anything into our kids, and we have no say? As parents? None? So, let me say to Biden what Elon Musk said yesterday on social media, on Twitter. You are the government. They are not your children. Do you get that? Those children belong to their mother and father, to their families, not to you liberals, not to the state, not to the government, not to Joe Biden. And if you say that they do, you are sick and perverse beyond all measure. This is Hillary all over again. It takes a village. No, it doesn't. It takes a mommy and a daddy, preferably. If not, a mommy or a daddy. Sometimes they're single parents and they work very hard to try to raise their children. But this is not communal raising of children. My child does not belong to Joe Biden. My two kids do not belong to the government. So, I want to ask you, it's the Kuhner Country poll question of the day, sponsored by Kelly Financial Services. Is Biden right? Does every child ultimately belong to the state, to the government? Is everyone's child our child? Is everyone's child our responsibility? Can the government teach or do whatever it wants to our children because ultimately they own them? I say not just no, not just hell no. Lay off our kids. This is sick and perverse. But that's me. Yes or no? I want to hear from you. You can vote WRKO.com/Kuhner, WRKO.com/Kuhner. Your call's next. 617-266-6868 is the number. Dan in Dartmouth. Thanks for holding, Dan, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Dan?
I am good on a Friday, although listening to this, my prayers go out to Shauna O'Connell and her daughter. It's difficult raising a daughter through those ages, and it's a hardship. I'm very sad to hear what is going on. I hope they find her.
Me too. It really is a nightmare. And you're right. When, teenage years, boy, they can bury a parent. You grow a lot of gray hairs. And I just,
yes, you do.
Oh, my heart just breaks for them. So, I hope they find her, and I hope they bring her home. Fingers crossed. Dan, please, what do you think about what's going on now in Burlington? Obviously, Biden now says our children belong essentially to him, to the government, to the state. What say you?
I think, Jeff, like anything else in this world today, you have to follow the money. And this is all really something that is derived to take down the United States. It is coming directly from the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and I have to say BlackRock, Vanguard, and the ESGs that are pilfering our entire society through not only the companies that are being promoted to enforce all kinds of policies such as Bud Light and other companies as well. We're talking about Target and others. This comes all the way down to the schools. The programs are coming from essentially policies that are being developed by DESE. And these are essentially policies that promote safety in schools for diversity, equity, inclusion programs that are taking place. It's funneled through the library. The American Librarian Association has all kinds of programs that are funneling through. They create these organizations or these lunch bunch times within middle schools, and this is something that we've also experienced. My daughter joined the lunch bunch in 6th grade in middle school. It was promoted by an environmental justice warrior librarian that then became a social justice warrior. Then the kids were subjected to books that were essentially, LGBTQ promoting books. And out of 12 girls, 6 or 7 of them changed the color of their hair. They changed their names to all names that begin with the letter A. We're talking about names like Arrow is one of them. They all became trans.
No, Dan, I'm just curious. Why A? Why did they pick the letter A?
You know what? It's interesting because LGBTQ, on and on and on.
Oh.
I think they start with A, and then from there they can go all the way through the alphabet, Jeff.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So you're saying, 7 out of the 12 now became trans or identify as trans?
Yeah, or non-binary. And my daughter, now we send her to a private school for high school. So she went through 3 years of that. She saw friends turning trans and all this gay. And they promote the heck out of it through the library. Now, we had several meetings with the principal and the guidance counselor. The guidance counselor needs to know what's going on in the library, the lunch bunch, and what they're doing with these kids and promoting books and things of that nature. It needs to run through the guidance counselor. No, it goes right around and through the library into these schools. And during every meeting, the principal says, we got to get her back in her lane. Well, now, why they didn't fire her, I don't know. But you look at the trending of this, Jeff, it's not going in a good direction because where the trending is going is that plus, define the plus at the end of LGBTQ, whatever, that is then going to transhumanism. They are preparing these kids to do all kinds of alterations to their body where they have no problem putting a chip in their head. And I'm sad to say it, but they are breaking our society down, and they're breaking the will of our children down as well, so that they are going to go ahead and comply to almost transition into anything that they want, including the chip in their head of virtual reality as essentially the globalists take over this country. What say you, Jeff?
No, I think you're right. Look, I got to tell you, many people now, and I'm talking leading social critics, I mean, these are, some real intellectual giants, are kind of touching on exactly the points you're making. They're saying, especially AI, artificial intelligence, They're saying, be very careful, because you're right. These are transhumanists. They want to create a post-human future where basically cyborgs. So, we want basically create a society where people are willing to mutilate their bodies, do all kinds of experiments, see themselves as essentially objects, not even as human, and as biologically malleable, infinitely malleable. So we can make you a man, a woman, both, neither, they, them, it, whatever. And you're right. I think it's one is pedophilia. I think there's no question. I think the other one is it's the transhumanist future. It's what the globalists have been saying now for a long time. This is how you perfect humanity. These people are sick. And how you perfect humanity, essentially make us into cyborgs. Now, Dan, I'm just curious. Your daughter, when you pulled her out of all this perversion and sickness, was she relieved? Did she say, thank you, Daddy? Or did she resist you?
She said thank you, and she is very happy in a Catholic private school. And she's straight. She knows who she is, and she knows what's going on. We talk to her, just like we're talking today, very open about what is going on in this world and to be prepared. And it's unfortunate because a lot of the women, their children, the women are essentially, they're single women, and they allow their children to go ahead and do these things because they care about them, they love them. It's almost like a psychological makeup that they don't have a man in their life. And matter of fact, you don't need one. You can be anything that you want. I think there's something psychological going on between the mothers and their children. And this allowing, this whole trans, type of a lifestyle to become something that's acceptable because of their home situation.
That is a very perceptive and interesting point. Thank you so much for that call. And joining us now, as she always does at this time, Kelly, the CEO, founder, president of a co-founder, president of Kelly Financial Services. Kelly, how are you?
Good morning, Jeff. I am good. Last week, I spoke about keeping your Social Security card in a safe space and to be careful with whom you share your Social Security number. Today, I would like to speak more broadly about cybersecurity and steps to help protect your assets and your identity. Cyber theft continues at alarming proportions. According to AAGIT, 1 in 2 American internet users had their accounts breached in 2021. Data breaches in 2022 cost businesses an average of $4.35 million. We have a free consumer guide that addresses these critical issues. It's called Cybersecurity Self-Awareness for Your Self-Protection. Learn why seniors lose more money to cyber attacks and the red flags to look out for. For your copy or to set up a no-obligation appointment, give us a call or email us at kelly@kellyfinancial.org. Jeff, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on Safe Money Strategies Radio, our Kelly advisors will give an economic update. I will be chatting with William Jr. He began his Kelly Financial internship yesterday, and he has a lot to say. Happy Father's Day, Jeff. I have no doubt Dr. Grace and the kids will be spoiling you as they should. You're a wonderful father.
Thank you, Kelly. God bless you. Please give my best to everybody. Go to kellyfinancial.org, kellyfinancial.org for a free consultation, kellyfinancial.org. Okay, my friends. Well, you know what? We'll do that in the next segment. I want to talk a little bit more about Shauna O'Connell and what she's going through with Riley, but we'll do that for the next segment because I want to give a little bit. I want to give some people some more information. Again, if you want to call Kelly Financial, free planning consultation, 888-800-1881, or visit kellyfinancial.org. Okay, my friends, Let me play one more clip. In order to try to impose this radical trans agenda and this radical LGBTQ left-wing agenda, they have to rely on outright lies, deception, and hysteria. Listen now to Biden at this Pride event. That's the one with the trans activists going topless. So at that very same event, listen to what he's now claiming. It's unbelievable. Roll cut 10, Mike.
When a person can be married in the morning and thrown out of a restaurant for being gay in the afternoon, this is still wrong.
What gays are being thrown out of what restaurants? I want him to cite me just one story, one example. He's a liar. Who's throwing what gays or lesbians out of what restaurants? What is this guy talking about? But this is what I mean. It's panic porn. It's fear mongering. It's hysteria. Lie after lie after lie after lie. And they're saying, well, that's why we need it in the schools, because, oh, my God, they're like, white supremacists are everywhere. And now they can't even eat at restaurants where gay people are being thrown out. Yeah, where? I'd like to know where. And he couldn't cite one example. You know why? Because it never happened. I'm not saying 30, 40 years ago. I'm talking about, now in contemporary America. Are you kidding me? Seriously? It's almost the exact opposite. You can't go into a restaurant and not see a pride flag shoved down your throat. You can't go to school and not have a pride flag or some pride video, or you can't watch sporting events. You can't watch a Hollywood movie. You can't watch TV. You can't do anything. Without, or as Rob from previously called, you're on the roll. You're da-da-da. Let's celebrate Pride Month. I mean, billboard signs everywhere. Like, are you throwing gays out of restaurants? Are you kidding me? You can't escape it for 1 second. Pride Month is celebrated more, I'm telling you, than Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, Memorial Day, forget about it. The Burlington Middle School, they won't even recognize that. Thanksgiving. And notice, those are days. They get a whole month. Who gets a month? And you're still claiming victimology? This mythical, I want to know this mythical gay person that was thrown out of this mythical restaurant. You want to talk about pure BS. This is it. 617-266-6868. Virginia in Lowell. Thanks for holding, Virginia, and welcome.
My pleasure, Jeff. Good morning.
Hi, Virginia.
So I want to chime in. It's actually perfect that I called because I am a voice of a single parent, and I'm a voice of a Christian single parent. So I want to speak to what the previous caller said and a couple other things, that it's not necessarily single parenting. It's a lack of Christ as your father for your child and your spouse while you're still waiting for that person. And my son knows that Jesus is his dad right now, and he knows that the men in our church are ones that he should look up to. So I urge any other parent out there raising children on their own not to give up, but to realize that we're also in a spiritual battle as well. And I also homeschool him. I found a way. I got sick of it, and I saw it from a very early time on, and God made a way for me. So if I can do it, if you want it bad enough, you can do it too. And I want to talk about this movement, how it's the perfect trifecta for depopulation. You've got your communism coming in, pitting people against each other, calling anti-hate love and all the stuff that you see in Orwell's 1984. Then it leads to confusion, which leads to no procreation. There's no kids going to be born. And guess what happens to the ones that are conceived? You've got abortion shoved down everybody's throat, too. We're waging a spiritual battle. And, you look back to Saul Alinsky's book. He dedicated his book to Lucifer. It's a citation. His book was dedicated to Lucifer. We're dealing with spiritual matters here. So kudos to the father for pulling his daughter and putting her into a Catholic school. And I'm not surprised, because when you look in the Bible, whenever demon possession happens, they talk about themselves in the plural. We are legion. Okay. And also, we know that trauma leads to a fractured mindset, right? Back to Project Mockingbird and all of that stuff that went on with the CIA. And you look at the skewed data from, those researchers, Kinsey and Money, who did sick experimentation on children. So we need to re-educate the kids. They've been attacking the generations. They've been attacking the kids. And we need to fight back with our children and teach them the Constitution. Teach them pride and patriotism and loving your neighbor, and not just, shoving an ideology. We don't have to swallow this ideology. We have to fight back with our kids, and we have to fight back hard. And we have to fight back.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Virginia, really. And I want to commend you for your courage, your bravery, your faith. Obviously, you love your child, your son, very, very much. And you're protecting your child, which is what you should be doing. And I think, honestly, look, there's no question now. We've abandoned God. We just have. And now we're reaping the consequences. This is what happens when you have a war on God, and a war on religion, and a war on the truth. And I mean, I don't watch Jeopardy or this. I don't watch any TV, to be honest. I just don't have time. But, I saw this story. These are like 3 Jeopardy contestants, and they were asked to just cite, the opening line of the Our Father's prayer. And they said, the word hallowed be thy name. And they didn't know the word. It was hallowed. And it was a tremendous story. It was a huge story. People on social media were livid. They're like, you don't know the opening line of our Father's prayer, our Lord's Prayer? Like, how do you not? I mean, secular people used to know it all. It's not a question of being religious. It's like, how do you not know the basic lines, the opening line of our Lord's Prayer? That's how far we've fallen and turned our back on God. I want to ask you this, Virginia, because everybody is noticing. It's the elephant in the room. And I'm going to have to hold you over, if that's okay, because I'm up against the break. So many overwhelmingly white women, I'm talking 99.99%. They're the ones, I don't know if they're single moms or the father, but whatever. They bring their child, and it's just them. They bring their child or children to these drag queen shows. They love it. And I mean, you got to see the videos. They're laughing, they're giggling, they're smiling, they're playing along as the drag queen is like twerking in front of their 2-year-old's face. Okay, let's go right back to Virginia in Lowell. Virginia, do you have a theory why so many young mothers, overwhelmingly, almost exclusively white women, white mothers, are obsessed with drag queens and taking their kids to drag queen shows?
Yeah, Jeff, I got to start off by saying, I think it depends on the paradigm with which you view the world. And I have a Judeo-Christian paradigm with which I look at the world. And what I'm seeing, I can't speak to the reason why it's white women, but I'm seeing a spiritual stronghold. And I'm seeing a rebellion against creation, against go forth and multiply, and don't mess with the kids. Whoever does unto the little one does it unto me. And I think it's groupthink. I think it's a striving for power over men, making the decisions, overtaking. We don't need a man. You don't even need to have kids. You don't even need to be attracted to, in a heterosexual way. And and it's a false freedom that they're striving for, because you're essentially locking the shackles onto your child because people are visual, especially men, young boys. And that's why pornography is so addictive, because it sticks in your brain. And what happened at the White House is vile and vomit-inducing, because that is an image that is seared into every man and every boy that watched it. And it's hard to undo that. And they know this. They've got all these, disgusting, quote-unquote, non-functioning CIA psychological operations data to back it up. They know how to imprint things on the population and how to subtly and slowly traumatize an entire generation, because they want to confuse people. And I think the women, they just, they want to be viewed as morally good, so they want to go along.
Interesting. Virginia, phenomenal call. Phenomenal call. Please don't be a stranger, Virginia. Call again. Really, really good call. Matt on the Cape. Thanks for holding, Matt. And as always, welcome.
Jeff, good morning. Thanks for taking this important call. Usually I know sometimes I kid and joke and all that, but I'm not joking about. And I just want to let you and the audience know that on the evening of July 4th at 7 p.m. at selective theaters throughout the United States, there's going to be a showing of a movie. Name of the movie is called The Sound of Freedom. It's the true life story of Tim Ballard, who was a former DHS investigator in child sex trafficking. And he's played by Tim Caviezel, who was in The Passion of the Christ. You can go online, you can watch the trailer, you buy your tickets online. They're saying now that child sex trafficking is about to eclipse illegal arms sales and drug trafficking as the biggest money-making crime business, if you want to call it that, worldwide. The biggest demand for child sex is the United States. The biggest supplier of these children is Mexico. I urge everybody. I know 4th of July, you're going to be with the family, the fireworks and all that, but I ask you, go on and watch this trailer. And if you don't well up and start crying at this insanity, this madness that these evil people are doing to these children, I'm almost ready to break down myself, well up and cry. I'm just thinking about what I saw in that trailer.
I am so happy that you called, and I'm so happy you mentioned this, because Grace and I talked about this very movie last night, and we are definitely going to go see it that weekend when it comes out, and I'm going to urge everyone to go. I think it's going to be a landmark movie, and yes, you're right. Everything you said is completely right. Sex trafficking now has surpassed gun trafficking, drugs, as the biggest money maker in terms of crime, illicit crime, trafficking crime in the world. And in the United States, we're one of the biggest consumers. It's sad to say. And most of the children in Mexico. And what that movie is also going to expose, and that's why I really want to congratulate the actor Jim Caviezel, because his days in Hollywood are finished. He's committing professional suicide by doing this. The movie is going to expose the sex trafficking ring in Hollywood, and how much of this is to service clients in Hollywood, actors, producers, directors, you name it, and how rampant and rife it is. Yes, across America, but especially in Hollywood. He is going to blow the whistle on it. So I'm going to support it. I'm going to watch it. I hope everybody else does. I know it's 4th of July weekend, but let's do this, because if we have a surge at the box office, it'll stay in the theater, because Hollywood does not want people to see this film for many reasons. The big one is they're implicated, directly implicated. So it's well worth the money. It's going to open your eyes. It's going to change your life. And you know what? They're doing the right thing, the courageous thing. Let's reward them. Let's reward them and go see the movie. Matt, thank you for that call. Henry in Walpole, thanks for holding, Henry, and welcome.
Jeff, Bishop Strickland of Texas will be down in Los Angeles at the Dodger Stadium tonight with thousands of people protesting the award being given to the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. I want you to take heart. I want your listeners to take heart on the Feast of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. There's going to be a massive protest outside. These are the people, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, who mock nuns, who mock the Catholic Church, and who are pushing this agenda, and they're getting awards for it at the L.A. Stadium tonight around 10 o'clock. You'll probably be hearing about it over the weekend, but I just wanted to alert you, Jeff, and your listeners to see there are people standing up.
Oh, God bless him. God bless him. Henry, God bless him. To me, what the Dodgers are doing is beyond disgusting, beyond sickening, beyond shameful. Boycott the L.A. Dodgers, boycott Major League Baseball. This is really, it's Christophobia. It really is. It is the hatred and persecution and vilification of Christ, Christianity, and Catholics. And enough is enough. These Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, you want to talk about perversion. They're sick. No, they really are. They're sick. So absolutely not. No way should we be supporting the Dodgers from this point on. That's okay. No. They've shown their hand. I'm happy they show us their true colors. Now, don't buy a single ticket, single baseball cap, single jersey. Let them go bankrupt like Bud Light. Teach them a lesson. Thank you for that call, Henry. How much time left? Okay. Please, everybody, pray for Riley O'Connell, Sean O'Connell's daughter. She went missing. She went for mental health help at a facility in Hilliard, Ohio. She is missing. She left. She escaped or got out, however you want to put it. She has now last been seen in Columbus, Ohio. If you have seen pictures of her, you can identify her. You can call 1-800-282-3784. That's the Ohio tip line. 1-800-282-3784. Go on Sean O'Connell's Facebook page. You will see pictures of her, a description of her. She's 18 years old. Everybody, please pray that Riley comes home safe and sound with her mom and her family. Bye-bye.